There's been a few things involving both Sniperwolf and Jack's films, starting back from a year ago, which we'll go through now. Might be wrong on how this started, but from what I understand, it was the summer of 2022, Jack's films was scrolling through, and he saw that Sniperwolf was making so much money off of just watching TikToks, she was able to buy a mansion. So, Jack's films decided that he's gonna start making his own reaction channels, being on a new channel called Jaja Jack Films, which is basically a parody / satire channel on how Sniperwolf does her stuff. Cause her reactions are so bad that Jack Films basically made a whole bingo board on stuff she usually does and say, or should I say, not do or not say in her reaction videos. Cause you yourself could probably make a better reaction video than her. Cause it's not even reacting, she's just describing the video or she just stares at it. I think one of the reasons why Jack actually started this is because she was not crediting the actual people who made the TikToks. Cause I think she was actually cropping out the names from the TikToks that she would watch. And it got to the point where you had creators of the actual TikTok trying to copyright her. And I think they were actually able to get down one whole video, possibly two, but I know one for sure. So then after that, nothing happened for like 7 months till the end of June. So from what I've seen, this is how it started. So I think she was one of the main panels for VidCon, and YouTube made a tweet asking, how did Sniperwolf get all these ideas? And Jack's Films retweeted that with a thumbs up, and for that reason, that just set her off. So she retweets the thumbs up, and she says, I'm gonna have to start charging you 20% since you get your ideas from me. And it seems like it's in a joking manner, right? Because I mean, like, she's not wrong, because for Jaja Jack's film, he just reacts to her reaction, but you know, since her reactions are like kind of terrible, he kind of transforms the content. But then something got deleted. I think it was said by Jax. I don't know what was said, but this is what she said after. 90% of what I upload are my ideas. People copy me, and people like you get confused. Yeah, it was your idea to watch a random TikTok compilation and claim it as your idea. So if she reacts to a video, that's her video. And if someone decides to react to that same video, then that person is stealing her idea. Not the person who made the actual TikTok compilation. Nah, that whole thing's her idea and no one can say anything else. Even though you realize that, you know, you probably understand that that whole thing is illusional, I'm gonna put it through a different perspective if you still don't understand it. Let's say I'm the first person to upload a part 1 of Spider-Man 2. And if anyone else uploads a part 1, then they're just copying my idea of posting and playing Spider-Man 2. How does that make any sense? And that's what she's basically doing for her reaction videos. So then people, rightfully so, are calling her delusional for it. Because she's trying to pull a Fine Bros. If you don't know what I'm talking about, is that a couple years back, the Fine Bros try to copyright claim the word react so that they can be the only channel on YouTube allowed to react to a video. So then Jax started to call her out for basically saying that I invented reacting to other people's TikTok and anyone else is copying me. Because that's basically what she said. And then she pulled out the gender card saying about how she hates using it. The satire videos annoyed her so much that she was making fun of Jack because of the difference of views. But technically, Jack is winning overall, because while 3% is watching Sniperwolf out of her total subs being 35 million people, she's only getting 1 million views, which is 3%. But in the case of Jack, he's getting 120% of people watching him. He has more people watching him than he has subscribers on average. Then she says, I hate bringing gender into it, but no one has ever attacked male react channels. You had Jinx, who was a founding father of react channels, but he got nothing but hate. Fine Bros, same thing, they did a dumb thing. They're a male react channel, they got nothing but hate, but they're idiots. XQC, there's a whole drama about him not reacting to videos, and he just left the video on and left. But now I got a question for you. Which female react channel has been attacked? Because I actually can't think of a single react channel that's run by a female that's been attacked. Also, it's not based on gender, it's based on the person, on why they get hate on react videos. When you check her channel, it's only reactions at this point. She posts a reaction a day, and it's just her watching a 10-minute comp of TikToks or just scrolling through TikTok. And for every video, she gets 1 million views a minimum at this point. In the past 6 months, there's only been 4 different videos, 3 gaming and a room tour for, well, her multi-million-dollar mansion. And she doesn't even change the thumbnails. She just cycles through 5 faces and that's it. Now the suing part. So this thing happened like a month or 2 ago. You may have heard about it since it was recent and, you know, it's kind of out there. But she's getting sued by this guy who was her boyfriend at one point. But to actually understand how this whole thing started, we have to go back to the start of her channel, where I guess you can say that she was the original gamer girl, going back 11 years playing COD. She was doing her own thing, making videos where she meets Sausage. That's just what the guy's called. The guy's name's Evan, but for some reason everyone calls him Sausage. This is how her channel worked. So she was bad at games, so Sausage would record the gameplay, so he would play the games. Since he was actually good at games, he would write scripts and send both the recording and the script to her. She would just talk over the video, which basically means also she was the original React channel too. Her statement about 90% of people copying her is actually true. It got to the point where that's how they made their money, which led to him owning 50% of the channel through a verbal agreement, meaning that he owns 50% of the channel and he gets 50% of the revenue, including sponsorships. So he was basically the component of the computer that made it run, and she was just a screen that everyone watched. And this went on for years, till I think about last year, where he apparently cheated on her, which got every guy confused on how she ended up with him in the first place. To which, now we know, it was for monetary gain. So since he was gone, she was still doing sponsorship videos, but now she would take 100% of the actual revenue that the sponsors would give. So he decided to actually sue her for the 50% of the sponsorship that she does, because well, technically he owns 50% of the channel, even though he's not making gaming content anymore for her. Now the most recent stuff, the doxing. So Jack's Films was streaming one day where for some reason, his house gets posted on SSSniperwolf's Instagram for over 5 million people to see it. You had people questioning her and hating on her for doing so because you actually can't just do that. So because of the doxing, people started to call her out and calling out YouTube to actually do something about her. Jack made a tweet calling her a stalker and asking YouTube to demonetize her and get her off the whole platform, because doxing's not allowed on their platform. Side note, how did she even know where he lived? So after a week of waiting, YouTube finally said something, and they said that SSSniperwolf will receive a temporary monetization suspension per creator responsibility policies. First off, has there ever been another creator who received a temp monetization suspension? And the answer is no. Do you want to know why? Because she's the first person to actually get a temporary monetization suspension. Because in YouTube's own rules, the only punishment for doxing was termination or complete demonetization. My guess is that they only did this so that if anyone asks, they technically did punish SSSniperwolf. Which makes no sense, because she actually doxed them to over 5 million people, and people are saying that it should be permanent, and they're not wrong. With people even saying that if the roles were reversed, Jack would have just got terminated, and I mean they're not wrong, because at this point, if you're high enough on the YouTube chain, the rules don't even apply to you. Here's an example of what happened in the past. You had the Ackman and Quantum TV case. You probably remember a little bit of it, but Ackman used a clip from Quantum TV, he didn't like that, and he called Ackman's mom. They went back and forth, and Ackman made a joke on Twitter about doxing, and because of that joke, his whole channel got demonetized. I'm not saying one video like SSSniperwolf, the entire channel was demonetized. When SSSniperwolf, a 34 million subscriber channel, decides to actually dox, it's only one video that's not monetized at all. How does that make any sense? He makes a joke, his entire channel's gone. She actually does it. One single video. Tell me in what world is that fair or make any sense to begin with? The favoritism is so blunt that it actually hurts to watch. And the thing is so clear-cut too that I'm surprised that she isn't even in handcuffs yet. Because isn't doxing a crime? So I'm gonna assume that she's probably in LA because of the way that she acts. And in a PC 653.2 conviction, it can lead to fines or jail time. From other stuff, it seems like, maybe like a year of jail time, misdemeanor harassment. But yeah, but it's still a crime and it's still a misdemeanor. So, and it's not like she didn't have her fair share of misdemeanors. Reverse the rules again, I'm gonna say it as bluntly as possible. This one guy finds out where this girl lives, pulls up to her house, wanting to talk, posts a video of her full house to his 5 million fans. His whole channel would be terminated. No demonetizing, the whole thing would just be gone. And besides it being terminated, I'm pretty sure doxing is a cybercrime. Okay, let's look at the differences between the Ackman and SSSniperwolf. SSSniperwolf is a 34 million sub channel, while the Ackman is only a mil. He made a joke while she actually did it. I'm gonna say it bluntly. It's either that they're favoring her because of her high sub count, or they're just plain sexist against men. There's no in between, there's no maybes or something else. It's either that they're favoritism or they're just sexist. Both things were done off platform. Ackman was on Twitter, SSSniperwolf was on Instagram. Without names, if I told you one person made a joke about doxing and the other person actually did it, and I showed both punishments, not saying what linked to what, you would probably assume that the joke would be one video and the whole channel would be the actual doxing, but you're wrong. This is a case where the punishment does not fit the crime. It should be way more harsher than this. But then YouTube decides to act like a parent and say that it's both of their faults for the whole thing happening in the first place, saying that all platform actions that put others' personal safety at risk of harm our community and behavior on both sides isn't what we want on YouTube, hoping everyone helps move this conversation to a better place. So SSSniperwolf puts Jack and his wife's personal safety at risk, all because he makes satire videos basically criticizing her, but it's somehow both of their faults. All because she steals content he calls her out by making a whole satire channel of just reacting to her reactions. She can dox him without facing any sort of consequence. Because the temporary demonetization for one video doesn't do anything at all. Like, it's so useless to the point where they could have just done no punishment at all and it would have been the exact same thing. And then she tries to act like the victim because people are disagreeing with her. She brought up the satire channel saying that this is harassment and stalking and I'll put a restraining order on Jack. All this while she doxed him. And she's saying that if anyone called her a doxer, that's defamation. Because apparently she doesn't know how to dox, so what she did wasn't doxing. So she's basically saying that if she doesn't know about the crime, that means she can't be charged with it. Just because you don't know doesn't mean that you can't be charged. But before she released an actual apology, she was doing anything and everything to not apologize, even asking an apology from Jack. But as soon as YouTube made the thing about the temporary monetization, she pulled up ChatGPT. People make an apology after getting called out or exposed. It's not that they're sorry about what happened, but they just want people to get off their bat. Because she's not sorry about anything. And to further prove the fact that she's not sorry, before the whole monetization stuff, she made another Instagram story saying that, oh, we pulled up to your house. What are you gonna do about it? That does not sound someone who is sorry in the slightest. Because even if she didn't know about doxing, it should still be common sense. Don't post someone else's address, like out in the open, out on the internet or anything. You just don't do that. And it's not like you can do that by accident. You have to maliciously take a video and actually decide to post that. And what makes no sense also is that in the video that she showed his house, she writes, let's talk just like adults. But an adult wouldn't post someone's address out on the internet. An adult would tell someone or give them warning that they're coming. You can't assume that people can read minds or anything like that. And I don't get how people can actually side with her. She doxed someone, which is illegal, for having a satire parody channel of just criticizing her. She had a criminal record before, which was armed robbery, and another one being disorderly conduct. And last month, we found out that her whole channel of her being a girl gamer is a fraud, and she doesn't even play the video games that she posts. Does she really think that there's gonna be no consequences? There are actual crazy people out there in the world that might show up to this guy's house for what she did. Even though it's completely insane if someone like showing up to your house, it's possible. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually move houses. And honestly, they should. It's for their safety and security. Because having that constant paranoia of someone showing up to your house is actually terrifying. And because of the whole doxing thing, you had people digging up what she did in her past. So she's doing an Omegle video, and she wanted these two minor boys to twerk for her. And in exchange, she would flash them. She did this on her own, unprovoked, just to see minors twerk. And since the video resurfaced, she actually took it down. And I'm guessing other videos that might show her in a bad light. I decided to check out her social blade to see if people were unsubscribing, and so far it's about 100k people. But it seems like she's trying to get rid of more videos from her past. Because when I was checking it out, there's over 150 million views that are just gone in this past week. Let's reverse the roles on this. A 24-year-old man asked two 15-year-olds to twerk, and in return, he'll flash them. That would be prison, termination on YouTube, a watch list, and a predator all in one. There's no return if someone actually decides to do that. But what makes it okay for her to actually do that? The thing I hate about this situation is that she's trying to play victim. She makes millions watching TikToks, not even reacting to it. One person criticizes her by making a parody channel, just, making satire content. She decides to dox him, and for the entire week, she's just on the attack on him. YouTube tweets about the monetization suspension, and she makes an apology. Now she's talking about taking a break for her mental health, because making videos is difficult to record. What's so difficult about stealing content for 10 minutes worth of TikToks when you make 10 grand a video? That's about it. If you liked the video, leave a like. Let me know what you think of the video. And with that, I hope you enjoyed.